Imagine you were standing in a really nice coffee shop. You can smell the rich, dark coffee beans.
Oh, yeah. That is the best smell.
It really is. And you can hear the loud espresso machines in the background. You're thirsty and, well, you just want a simple latte.
Right. Just a latte, nothing crazy.
Exactly. So you walk up to the counter. The barista smiles at you and asks, "Hello, what can I get for you?"
Okay. The moment of truth.
Right. And you know the English words. I mean, you study them in your books. But suddenly...
Your brain just completely freezes.
Yes. It completely freezes. You open your mouth, but no sound comes out at all.
Ugh, it is a terrible feeling. I mean, your heart beats faster, your face gets hot, you just feel totally stuck. We have all experienced this moment of panic.
We really have. So today on the Deep Dives, we are going to explore why that freeze happens. We're looking at a really fascinating source today.
Yes, it is called Talk First, Think Later, the secret to speaking English fluently.
And we have a very specific mission for you today, the listener. We want to help you stop waiting for perfect grammar. We want you to start speaking English right now, like exactly as you are.
This is such a crucial mission because, so many people study English for years.
Oh, absolutely. Years and years.
Right. They read these heavy textbooks, they memorize long vocabulary lists, they pass really difficult written tests.
But then what happens?
Well, when they try to talk to a real human being, they freeze. They are just waiting for their sentences to be 100% perfect.
Yeah.
And today, we will explain why waiting for perfection is actually, it is the worst thing you can do for your language skills.
I have to be honest here, though. The title of our source, Talk First, Think Later. It sounds completely backwards to me.
It does sound a bit strange at first, doesn't it?
Yeah, because when I was young, my teachers always told me the exact opposite. Yeah. They always said, think before you speak.
Right.
They wanted me to plan every single word carefully in my head.
Teachers do say that a lot. And I mean, for big life choices, thinking first is very good advice.
Oh, for sure.
You should definitely think before you buy a house or change your job.
Exactly.
That makes sense. But language learning has different rules. When you are learning to speak, thinking too much actually stops the conversation completely. It just builds a wall between you and the other person.
But wait, hold on. If I do not think before I speak, won't I just say something completely wrong?
Well, yeah, you might.
I feel like I might sound foolish.
Yeah.
Or, people might laugh at me.
And that fear of sounding foolish is very natural. No one wants to look bad in public.
Right.
But our source has a really powerful message about this fear.
What does it say?
The source tells us that perfection is the enemy of fluency.
Perfection is the enemy of fluency.
Exactly. Fluency means speaking smoothly and easily. If you try too hard to be perfect, your brain freezes. You simply cannot speak smoothly and be perfect at the exact same time.
So you have to make a choice.
You do.
I guess the question is, do you want to be perfect and silent? Or do you want to make mistakes and actually talk to people?
That is a big choice for a language learner.
It really is. So let's go back to that coffee shop. To understand why we need to talk first, we really need to look closely at the painful reality of what happens when we try to think first.
Okay, let's examine that moment. You are back at the counter. The barista is smiling. They are just waiting for your answer.
And I am standing there in total silence.
Right.
But inside my head, it is very noisy.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I am trying to build a 100% perfect sentence. First, I worry about the small words. I ask myself, wait, is it a latte? Or is it a latte?
Right. Your brain is working very fast. But the barista, they only see a silent person.
Exactly. Then I start worrying about the verb. I think, should I say I want to buy a latte? No, maybe I want to order a latte.
The choices just keep adding up.
Yes. And then I think, maybe that is not polite enough.
Yeah.
My teacher said to use would. Should I say I would like to have a latte?
And meanwhile, the clock is ticking. 5 seconds pass. 10 seconds pass.
And the line of people behind me is getting longer. I can hear someone sighing. People are checking their watches. I just feel incredibly embarrassed. My face turns red.
And all of that panic.
All because I'm trying to pick the very best verb.
Yeah. The source actually gives a great name to this terrible situation. It calls this the grammar trap.
The grammar trap. I like that.
You are trapped inside your own head. You are locked inside the rules of a textbook.
It truly feels like a trap. Like I cannot escape. I cannot move forward. So how do I get out of this trap?
To escape the trap, you just need to ask yourself one simple question. What is your actual goal in that coffee shop?
My goal, I am thirsty. So my goal is just to get a cup of coffee.
Exactly. Is your goal to pass an English test?
No, definitely not.
Right. Is the barista an English teacher? Are they holding a red pen just ready to give your grammar a bad grade?
No, of course not. The barista just wants to know what drink to make. They want to finish their job and, serve the next person in line.
And this is the big realization. Your goal is communication. Your goal is not perfection. And when we look at the source material, they show us a very easy way out of the trap.
Oh, right. The source has this amazing aha moment here. It shows that you do not need a complete sentence at all.
Not at all.
You could just use two simple words. Latte, please.
Latte, please. Think about it. There are no verbs in that phrase. There is no complex grammar. It is just the noun and a polite word.
If I write latte, please on a test, my old English teacher might give me a bad score. Because, it is not a full sentence.
Yeah, a teacher might not like it.
But in the real world, the barista understands me instantly. They smile, they make the coffee, I pay, I drink my delicious latte.
The communication is a 100% success.
Yes, and this is exactly what the title means, right? Talk first really means communication first.
You hit the nail on the head. Getting your idea out of your head and into the world is the most important thing. Grammar comes second.
Communication first. That idea just takes a huge, heavy weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
I do not need a perfect sentence. I just need the other person to understand my idea.
It is very freeing.
It is. But changing my mind is hard. I spent years in school learning to be perfect. How do we actually change this deep habit?
Well, we have to change how we see language entirely. Speaking English is not a test of your memory. It is a physical skill.
It's like a physical skill.
Yeah, you have to treat it like a sport. The source material explains this by comparing speaking English to riding a bicycle.
Riding a bicycle. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Think about a child learning to ride a bike. They do not sit inside at a desk.
No, they don't.
They do not read a heavy book about bicycle theory.
Could you imagine reading an instruction book that says, Step 1, move your left foot exactly 30 degrees.
Right.
Step 2, push the pedal with 2 pounds of pressure.
That sounds ridiculous. If you try to learn that way, you will never ride the bike. You will just sit in your chair reading forever.
Exactly.
To ride a bike, you have to take it outside. You have to get on the seat. You have to push the pedals with your own feet and actually feel the balance.
And language is the exact same thing. You cannot learn to speak just by reading a grammar book. You have to move your mouth.
Yeah.
You have to make the physical sounds. You have to feel the natural balance of a real conversation.
Okay, I understand the idea, but let me push back a little bit here.
Sure.
When you ride a bike without thinking, you lose your balance. You fall down.
That is true.
And when I make a big grammar mistake in public, it feels like falling down off a bike. It feels very embarrassing. I feel like everyone is looking at my mistake.
That is a very honest feeling. And, the source agrees with you completely. You will fall down.
I will.
Yes. When you learn to ride a bike, your knees will get dirty. You might get a scrape on your hand. It hurts a little bit.
So my grammar is going to get a scraped knee.
Yes, exactly. When you speak English without thinking first, you will definitely make mistakes. Your grammar will scrape its knee. For example, you might want to talk about your male friend. You might say, he go, instead of the correct grammar, he goes.
Oh, missing the S on the verb. That is a very common mistake.
It is a small scrape on the knee, but let's look at the result. If you say, he go to the store, does the other person understand where your friend went?
Yes. They know he went to the store. The missing S does not hide the meaning at all.
Right. The source gives another example. Imagine you tell a story about yesterday. You say, yesterday I go to park.
Okay, I see two clear mistakes there. Yesterday means the past. So the verb should be went, not go.
Yeah.
And it is missing the article the. It should be yesterday I went to the park.
You are right. The grammar is wrong. The knees are very dirty. But what about the communication? Is the idea clear?
Well, yeah, the idea is completely clear. If you say, yesterday I go to park, I know exactly what you did. I know exactly when you did it. You successfully shared your story. You rode the bicycle.
You rode the bicycle and you did not crash. And this brings us to the second half of the book's title. The title is Talk First, Think Later. We understand talk first. Now we need to explore the think later rule.
Right. Because we are not saying grammar is bad. We are not saying you should throw your grammar books in the trash.
No, grammar is very useful. But you must change when you think about it. The rule is simple. Correct yourself after you speak. Do not correct yourself while you speak.
Okay. How does that work in a normal day?
Well, you go out into the world. You talk to a friend. You say, yesterday I go to park. You have a great conversation. You laugh together. You share your ideas. The conversation ends. Then you go home.
Okay, I'm home.
You take off your shoes, you sit on your comfortable sofa, you drink a cup of tea.
So I am in a safe place. No one is waiting for me to speak.
You are totally relaxed. And then you think about your English, you remember your conversation, you tell yourself, today I said yesterday I go to park, that was a mistake. Tomorrow I will try to say went.
Oh, that feels much better. The thinking happens at home, on the sofa. The mistake did not kill the conversation. It was just a quiet learning moment for later.
Exactly. Now you have the right mindset. But stepping out into the real world is still scary. How do you actually put this into practice?
Right. I need some tools.
The source gives 3 specific, easy tools you can use starting today.
I am ready for the tools. Let's look at the first one. It involves using small sounds called fillers.
Yes. Fillers are short sounds or tiny phrases we use when we speak. Sounds like, or short phrases like, let me see, or, well.
You know, when I was learning languages, I tried very hard to avoid those sounds. I thought saying made me sound confused or slow. I thought it meant my English was bad.
Many language learners feel that way. They want their sentences to sound perfect and smooth, like a newsreader on television. But the source tells us something surprising. Fillers are actually wonderful, helpful tools.
Really? Why is saying a good thing?
Think about the freeze in the coffee shop. The worst part was the dead, heavy silence.
Oh, the silence was terrible.
Right, but when you use a filler, like, let me see, your mouth is moving, you're making English sounds, and while you're saying, let me see, you give your brain 1 free second to find the next word.
Well, I understand. It is a bridge. It can connect one thought to the next thought without falling into a scary silence.
Yes, it keeps the energy of the conversation alive. The other person knows you are still talking.
And it sounds very natural. I mean,
Yeah.
if I listen to native English speakers, they do not speak like perfectly printed books. They say, all the time.
All the time.
They say, and like, it's just part of normal human speech.
Yeah.
So instead of freezing in the coffee shop, I could just say, let me see, I would like a latte. It buys me time.
It buys you time and it stops the panic.
I love that.
Now, what is the second practice tool from the source?
The second tool is my favorite because it sounds a little strange. The tool is talk to yourself.
Talk to yourself out loud.
Yes. The source gives a very clear example of how to do this. You narrate your day. You tell the story of your life as it is happening. But you do it when you are completely alone.
Like a movie narration.
Exactly. Imagine you are in your kitchen. You're making a salad. You pick up a vegetable. You say out loud, now I am cutting the onion. The onion is big. Oh, the onion makes my eyes water.
It is a highly effective exercise for your brain.
But let's be honest. If my neighbor looks through the window and sees me talking to an onion, they will think I am crazy. It feels very silly.
It might feel silly at first, but we need to ask why this tool works so well. Let's go back to the grammar trap. Why did your brain freeze in the coffee shop?
Because of the pressure. The barista was looking at me. The people behind me were waiting. I felt judged.
Pressure is the enemy of fluency. But when you are alone in your kitchen talking to an onion,
Yeah.
what is the pressure level?
0. The pressure is 0. The onion does not judge my grammar. The onion does not care if I forget the letter S. No one is watching. No one is waiting.
Exactly. Because there is 0 pressure, the grammar trap completely disappears. Your brain feels safe. You can practice moving your mouth. You can practice making English sounds. You are building a strong connection between your brain and your mouth without any fear.
That makes perfect sense. It is like a practice run before a real race. So talk to your onions. Talk to your coffee cup in the morning. Talk to your shoes when you put them on. Just make sure you are talking out loud.
Those are great practice tools for your home, but eventually you have to talk to real people.
Right.
And that brings us to the third tool. This one is called survival English.
The survival English. This is crucial. This is for the exact moment when you are in a real conversation. Everything is going well and suddenly,
You lose the word.
yes, you truly forget a word. It just disappears from your memory.
It happens to everyone. Even in our native languages, we sometimes forget words. What do most language learners do in this situation?
Well, in my experience, they stop talking entirely. They apologize. Then they pull out their mobile phone, they open a dictionary app, and they start typing to find the correct word.
And what happens to the conversation while they are typing?
It dies. The conversation stops cold. The other person just stands there waiting awkwardly while you look at your phone screen. The human connection is broken.
Survival English fixes this problem entirely. The rule is do not stop talking. Do not reach for your dictionary. Instead, you just describe the word you forgot. You use simple, easy words to explain the big, complex word.
It reminds me of a party game. Have you ever played charades?
Oh, sure.
You have a secret word, but you cannot say it. You have to describe the shape or what it does so your friends can guess it. It turns a stressful memory test into a really fun team game.
That is a brilliant way to look at it. You make the other person your teammate. Let's look at the example from the source material. Imagine you are in a kitchen. You want to talk about the big, tall machine that keeps your milk and vegetables cold, but you forget the word.
The word is refrigerator. It is a long word. It has many syllables. It is very easy to forget.
Very easy. If you forget refrigerator, what do you say using survival English?
You just look at the machine and use simple words. You say, the cold box for food.
The cold box for food. Let me ask you, if someone says to you, please put the milk in the cold box for food, do you understand them?
Immediately. I know exactly what they mean. I might even smile and help them. I might say, oh, you mean the refrigerator? Sure, I will put the milk inside.
See, you solved a problem together. You kept the conversation alive. You did not look at a dictionary.
What if we try another one? What if it is raining outside and I forget the word umbrella? What could I say?
You could describe what it does. You could say, I need my rain roof. Or the stick that stops the rain.
Rain roof. I love that. Or what if I am in a taxi and I forget the word airport?
You could tell the driver, please take me to the plane station. Or the place where airplanes fly from.
The driver will know exactly where to go. The communication is successful. You use the simple English you already had in your brain. You survived the situation. You won the game.
All three of these tools do the exact same job. Using fillers, talking to onions, and using survival English. They keep you moving forward. They keep you pedaling the bicycle.
We have covered so much ground today. We learned about the grammar trap. We learned that communication is more important than perfection. We learned to get on the bicycle and accept some scraped knees. And we have 3 great tools.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
It is. But before we finish, I want to talk about feelings.
Feelings are a huge part of language learning.
They really are.
Yeah.
Because I know some of you listening right now might be shaking your heads. You might be thinking, these tools are nice. The ideas are good. But I am still too shy.
Yeah, shyness is tough.
I am too embarrassed by my bad grammar. If I say, yesterday I go to park, people think I am stupid. What can we say to a listener who is just too shy to try?
The source material has a beautiful section about this exact feeling. It asks us to change how we think about native speakers. We need a final mindset shift.
Okay, what is the truth about native speakers?
The truth is this. Native speakers do not care about your prepositions. They do not care if you drop the letter S. They do not care if you mix up the past and present tense.
Wait, they don't?
No, they don't. They care about your ideas. They care about your story. They care about the human connection. To understand this, you just need to think about your own native language.
My own language. Okay.
Imagine someone from another country comes up to you on the street. They are trying very hard to speak your language. They are clearly nervous. They make a lot of grammar mistakes. They use the wrong words. When you hear them, do you think, wow, this person is very bad at grammar. This person is stupid?
Of course not. Never. I think, wow, my language is really difficult. This person is trying so hard. I want to help them. I listen very carefully to try and catch their meaning.
Exactly. You feel patient. You feel kind toward them. And the source points out something even deeper. When someone hears you speaking their language with mistakes, they do not judge your intelligence. They admire your bravery.
They think you are brave.
Yes. Learning a language as an adult is one of the hardest things a human can do. It takes courage to open your mouth and make mistakes in public. Every time you try, you are showing bravery. People respect that courage.
That makes me feel so much better. The person listening is not my enemy. They are just another human being who wants to share a moment with me. They are my teammate.
So we have a challenge for you today, a call to action.
Yes. Our challenge for you, the listener, is simple. We want you to go out today and say just one thing in English, just one sentence. Find a person. It could be at a coffee shop, at your job, or just walking in the park.
But you must follow the rule.
Right, the rule. Do not think about it first. Do not stand in silence building the perfect grammar structure in your head. Just open your mouth and let the words out. Use fillers. Use survival English. Get your knees dirty.
See what happens. The other person will probably understand you perfectly. You will share your idea, and the sky will not fall down just because you missed a verb.
You will feel so free. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought. The expert and I were discussing this earlier. We have a final question for you to take with you today.
It is a question that builds on everything we learned. Think about this. If communication is truly just about sharing your ideas, and if it is not about perfect grammar, then how much English do you already know right now today that you are hiding from the world?
How much English are you hiding? That is a really powerful question.
You probably have hundreds, maybe thousands of words in your head.
Yeah.
But you keep them locked away in a dark room because you are afraid they are not perfect yet? What if you unlock the door? What if your English, exactly as it is today, with all its mistakes and scraped knees, is already good enough to make a new friend?
Your English is already good enough to make a new friend today. You do not need to wait for tomorrow. You do not need to finish another textbook. You have enough right now. So walk into the coffee shop. Do not build the perfect sentence. Just smile and say, "Latte, please." Talk first. Think later. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you feel a little braver and ready to make some wonderful mistakes. Keep talking, and we will catch you next time.